This episode of Casual Friday is brought to you by Jack Threads. You just squeezed my cat's poops through her stomach. I didn't know you could do that. She's like, oh yes, cats are very squishy.
So Rockstar has made a lot of money, the most they've ever made in a single day on Grand Theft Auto. Okay, I played it. All I'll say is, one could see this as their final statement on, their critique of the American dream. Mm-hmm. And the thing that goes through my head is, okay, where does it go from here?
Well, they've done, New York, Miami, LA, I guess, or California.
They did London once.
London, yeah, that was an expansion pack. I don't know if that really counts. I don't know. I couldn't see them making a full game based outside of the US.
Oh, but the Getaway was so good.
It seems like so much of their thing has been the American dream.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody, you know what? I'm gonna call him out. It's Phil Kohler from Polygon, and he said, I'd like to see a Grand Theft Auto game, in Europe, or how about the Midwest? And I said to my Twitter feed, they made that, Phil. It was called Farming Simulator 2013. What are you gonna do with GTA in the Midwest? You got Watch Dogs for Chicago. I mean, it's
the issue with the Midwest is the contours, since there aren't many on the topography of the middle of our country.
You guys, Detroit.
It's also Detroit.
That's Detroit.
Detroit is the worst place in America you can go, and that's why it's the best place for GTA.
It likes to lampoon the overly wealthy
again,
that's true.
The American
New York,
dream.
LA.
Like, people move to these places because they want to achieve something, whether it's the movie industry or being an immigrant from Russia, or you want to be the king of the cocaine, and then there are kind of these large metropolises where there's actually stuff happening, and I just I don't know. I mean, I would be interested to see what they did.
Okay, but then here's a question, and it's something that became pretty evident in playing Grand Theft Auto, because I loved the high desert area because it was just so interesting. Like I used to go through that a little bit when I was in LA. There'd be a reason to go out there, and there's always that sense of mystery. Like, okay, you only live here when you don't want to be found.
You're talking about out past Rancho Cucamonga and stuff.
Well, even further, as you get into Death Valley and those areas, like 29 Palms.
Needles.
No, yeah, Needles, 29 Palms, Barstow.
What about Atlantic City? That's got the opulence and the shittiness.
But does it need to have the urban center? Could you actually do a GTA game that, say, was in the American South, where you have Bayou and you have the mountains like Appalachia, or the Ozarks?
Louisiana or something?
We've seen I guess it's not next gen at this point, but we've seen a not last gen version of Liberty City and now of Los Santos, and I'd love to see them go back to Vice City, but actually really flesh it out, because since then their games have gotten so much bigger and they've gotten so much more in depth, and I think that in a lot of ways Florida is kind of like the opposite of California, in that California is they've got the movie industry and everything kind of goes awesomely. People move out there I'm gonna chase that dream, and then maybe it doesn't work out and they become kind of weird and there's still some scumminess. Whereas Florida's I'm gonna go on spring break, and then they stay there. Yeah. And then of course you've got
Amsterdam of places.
I mean, just imagine a next gen GTA game that has alligators in it and fan boats. I'd be interested in that.
Okay, you are making a really, really good sell.
Yep.
On this.
And it could be modern day, Bad Boys 2 or Dexter.
But dude, the 80s thing, the 80s zeitgeist it's strong with you people.
Yeah, that's true, but
the youth.
I mean, I think that they've got the kind of 80s soundtrack in 5, which I'm really into. But at the same time, it's so, I think that the 80s thing...
Says the man in the members only jacket.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. I think that they've got a lot of material doing a modern day Miami. If you go to Fark.com and check out the Florida tag, that's all just messed up crime.
The Florida Man Twitter account.
Yep, Florida Man. It's just amazing, and it's there's so much weird stuff that happens there.
It's true, because you do have the opulence of a place like Miami, but then you also have everywhere else in Florida.
Do it like San Andreas, where it's not specific to the city, but you get the panhandle.
Exactly. That's why I can't see them ever doing it in a place in the middle of Alabama or something.
I think the South could be crazy.
The South could be good.
You'd have to consolidate it a bunch.
Well, but the thing is, they never are specific to the state we think it's representing, and they'll draw in aspects of the region. So
I'd like a really nice New England Grand Theft Auto. You know, like you're gonna steal a
really
car
waspy
and you're just gonna drive up to Amenia for the weekend. You ever been to Amenia? It's lovely.
I don't even know
Got
what
a
that is.
wonderful independent.
well, I like the
bookstore
idea
there.
that
It's
you'll
just
commit
delightful.
crimes and people will think they just won't notice.
You
because
just
it doesn't
do
feel right.
You do insider trading and then you buy a house upstate.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Then you sit there and then
we
the
just
feds
got a
come.
lovely loft in Great Barrington.
See, if they did Atlantic City, then they could also have a Jersey Shore expansion pack. Imagine Guidos in Grand Theft Auto.
That could be cool. There's actually a great Elmore Leonard book.
Ever so often,
There's a Elmore Leonard book, Glitz, which is all in Atlantic City, and it starts out in Puerto Rico and then kind of hops up to Jersey, and it's just
So-
grimy.
Could they take the GTA format, and obviously it's weird, all the Rockstar games like to be grounded in a little bit more of a reality than you tend to get in other video games. I mean, it's like Red Dead is a mythological America, but you have more of a sense of place.
Yeah.
But then could they take that and do sci-fi or do
No.
something? Yeah, it's
It would be too weird.
I don't see that happening at all. I mean, they could. I'd like to see another Bully game.
oh god, I want a Bully.
Yeah.
I love Bully. That would be. I mean, I want another noir game. I don't think it necessarily has to be LA.
Yeah.
I want to just.
Here's an interesting idea. What about a return to having multiple locations? Like in GTA, the first one, you went to Vice City and
Yeah.
Liberty City and San Andreas, but it wasn't really truly open world. It's kind of open world, but they were separated. And looking at Dragon Age Inquisition, they've kind of made it something very easy for themselves by having different locales that are separate. Like let's say you go to the airport in GTA and you get on a flight to some other city, so it's more than one city in the same game that are just drastically different settings. Like why not?
I think using the airport might make it work. I just think that
Yeah.
they've set the bar so high with what they pulled off with the fully, like you're just not loading as you're moving through something as big as in Grand Theft Auto 5, that there's that kind of technological benchmark they've hit that if it went in that direction, it would look like somehow it was a step back.
Yeah.
If there was some kind of sense of load or forced transition.
Well, it'll be, make it like fast travel, but I don't know. Let's get on a train and go through a tunnel and you come out somewhere, go to sleep on the train. I don't know. But I'd love to see
Train.
How great would it see like a GTA where you could go into hiding in like a small town or something, or you do go out in the country, and I mean, I don't know, as opposed to just having the strictly urban setting and have the same rules, but it's just
I
a different
could see
different
something
things
like
happen.
that
Yeah.
where you maybe start off the first half of the game or the first 3/4 of the game in like a huge metropolis, and then just sort of like go into hiding.
You
somewhere.
run out of town.
Yeah.
On a rail.
Go
I
from
feel
tar
like
and
though,
feather.
but going from a metropolis to like a completely suburban and
I think
rural
I
area
kind of like
would
the
be
idea of
kinda
like you're
boring.
starting as someone big, and then you fall.
Maybe
So
the
Saints
opposite
Row
way. Maybe you work your way up,
Okay.
glass ceiling and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what?
term
What
I've
if they
heard.
made a GTA that was just a land of ladies? Just their
They
response
need
was
ladies
just.
that aren't hookers.
Yeah, they could use that. But
I would love to
just,
see some female
What about
representation.
Grand Theft ladies? Just all the ladies, just a world of ladies. Nothing. There's no male characters in the entire game.
But doesn't Grand Theft Ladies...
And it's set in a
that would
woman's
imply,
prison.
like kidnapping.
But they'd all only be women, so just be women kidnapping other women, and everyone would be happy. It would be the most offensive thing they could possibly make, but they'd have millions of dollars. Just imagine that. They made $800 million in one day. They could just make this game just to mess with people.
GTO.
I don't know. I've had worse ideas, I think, maybe.
I don't know.
Hey, you there. You there with no nice clothes. Well, you should get some nice clothes and also help support Casual Friday. You know where you should get them? Jack Threads. Jack Threads is a members-only online shopping club for guys that has cool brands like Vans and Penguins and, members only. Jack Threads makes your shopping easy and offers more than 50% off the latest summer gear and gadgets. Normally there's a wait list to join Jack Threads, but we like you, so you can cut in line. If you head to signup.jackthreads.com/casualfriday, it's a great bargain and it helps support the show. Plus, members only jackets.